We see these mistakes in the watch collecting world time and time again. So in this video, we're going to tell you what those mistakes are and kind of give you some help in building your watch collection. I'm Elizabeth Smith, George Reed. We're with Oliver Smith Jeweler. Between us, we have lots of industry experience, many years in the watch world. If you ever want to visit us in person, we have a couple stores in Scottsdale, Arizona, and we're also in Aspen, Colorado. So
let's get into it.
Very near and dear to our hearts.
Yep.
So let's get into it. Kind of number one.
Well, I want to start off with, I think something that makes us good at what we do here at Oliver Smith is not only are we here to sell you watches and help you curate your collection. I'm a watch collector. I get to do this for a living. I've been incredibly fortunate to turn one of my passions into my profession.
Right.
And if you can do that in your life, please do it because it's awesome.
Life lessons in the
life lessons moving forward. But there are things I've seen people do over and over again. I've done it myself.
Sure.
Just want to put these out there. If you're starting a watch collection, if you're thinking about starting a collection, you're falling down the rabbit hole. Personal experiences that I think might help you in your collecting.
Yeah, and I'm sort of newer in my watch collection journey. Granted, I work in the watch world, so I kind of have a biased look and I get to see everything. But as George says, we can't take all the puppies home.
Can't take all the puppies home, man.
We have to have some opinions on what to do.
Yep.
So let's start out with kind of number one, our first don't, if you will.
Don't overspend right off the bat. Don't spend money too quickly. And I know that seems counterintuitive for the people who sell watches to tell you this. One of the things you learn really, really early on, and this is from introspection, I think the first thing you really need to do is sit down with yourself and decide what you like about watches. Some people just want to buy a watch to flex on other people.
Sure.
And you know what? That's okay.
Right. Different motivations.
But there's different motivations for it. A lot of times you're early collecting. So I'm thinking maybe your first 10 watches. You're not necessarily buying what you love because you love everything, and that's easy. What you find is with ownership, you'll discover things that you might not like about a watch that you loved.
Right.
And you want to mitigate those damages early because it's more along the lines of I love this, but I love this, but.
Right.
And it's like I wouldn't do that again. So as your thought processes kind of coalesce, you won't make those mistakes again. So that when you do spend a little more money on a watch, you're doing it from a place of knowledge.
So it's kind of getting an idea like, oh, I actually don't like how chronographs wear on my wrist as well, or I actually don't like this larger size, or maybe I'm more into smaller, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you're not overspending, then you don't feel kind of stuck or trapped. You're like, oh, I didn't spend too much, I can trade it in, I can sell it.
And it's funny because I think that's what a lot of us do, and where a store like ours comes into play. If you're local in Arizona or Colorado, we have the best trade-in program, bar none. But what's good about that is you can take those first 4 or 5 quasi-mistakes and trade them in maybe towards that next level piece.
Yeah.
And that can really help you achieve the next watch, which I like and I've used in my personal collecting as well.
Kind of a secret of building collections too.
Yeah.
All right, so number 2, and this is a little bit harder to gauge, but it's don't fall for the hype, don't fall for the trend.
Don't buy a trend,
Yeah, and there's lots of trends, and I would say in the watch world from year to year, but overall, there's things you can pick up on. I would say brands that have been around for a while and have some consistency to them.
Yep.
Styles that have been around, have some
classics.
Consistency. Yes.
Yep.
Steel sport watches, maybe kind of a classic dress watch.
Yeah, a great pair of jeans,
you had a good example of kind of a brand that you thought was maybe a flash in the pan.
So again, having done this for years, you think you know what you're doing. And I remember when Richard Mille first came out, and I was like, nope, they won't be around for 2 years. Boy, was I wrong, you know? So you look back and you're like, man, maybe I should have bought that.
Totally.
It would have been a house on my wrist.
Everyone has that in their collecting journey, their investing journey. We hear about it all the time.
Oh, you will absolutely have, I regret buying it and I regret selling it stories. That's just the way it goes. That comes with the territory. The things I preach for damage mitigation early on. You hit it right on the head. You want to buy a brand that's been around for a long time. You want to buy a style that's been around for a long time. The unpleasant thing is the next one. You actually want to buy a watch that no one is getting a discount on.
Yeah.
That will help you retain secondary market value, blah, blah, blah. But that dovetails into my first tenet, which is always, if you buy what you love, the secondary market will never matter.
Right.
We're sitting here trying to help you get to the watch you love.
Right.
And us sitting here telling you that brings us to our third point.
Yeah, and it kind of ties into the, maybe lamenting on something you should have bought, or, oh, I regret this. Don't do it alone.
Don't do it alone.
That's our third point. Find your community, find your people. There's other people out there to share the passions, but to also talk about maybe something that didn't work out, right?
Yeah. The commiseration stories are the best. Yeah. It's like the car industry. Certain car brands are just built around when did yours leave you stranded? Yeah. You know, and that's the community. We're really, really fortunate here in Arizona and Scottsdale in particular. We have a really, really strong watch community. Oliver Smith happens to be part of it, but you come into a store like mine with a great selection of product. You can try on everything. We're not a museum. We're meant to be played with.
Yeah.
And I am here to help you curate your collection. Mm-hmm. That being said, I'm still on my side of the counter. I've got skin in the game, and there's no way to separate those two things. So find third parties, find people who want to help you who are on a similar journey. If you don't have anybody local, Reddit, Time Zone, there are so many good sources. I mean, heck, if you're watching this content, we're probably not the only thing you're watching.
Right. The comment section.
Yeah. Right. The comment section is absolutely wonderful. You'll figure out quickly who not to listen to as well. A lot of guys want to throw big superlatives at their watches and really curse other watches, and I don't. Every watch has merit, and if you find something you love, who cares what Archie Luxury thinks?
I love that. Yeah.
You know, yes. So make sure. So it's going to start with you analyzing yourself and figuring out what and why you like it, and then bounce it off of other people. Bounce your deals off other people. I don't think you can go wrong with any of that. We'll pick up the phone.
Call.
Yeah. If you're in town, definitely stop by. It's well worth a look just to play with everything. You know, we're one of the few places west of the Mississippi that I know of where you can try on everything.
There is some importance in trying stuff on, and that goes, you know, for I think any items in the luxury space, even for cars, right?
It's you got to go out and test drive,
feeling it, trying it on your wrist, you know, and there's lots of great local dealers.
It was funny early on in my career, and not to go on a tangent.
Let's hear it.
When I opened and closed the Torno that was down in Scottsdale Fashion Square. And as a watch guy, just getting into the industry professionally, I had all of Torno's inventory at my disposal.
Yeah.
So I got in a lot of trouble. I was a pirate. I went and brought in the watches I wanted to see. Mm-hmm. So I curated this pre-owned case that was just dynamite, man. And I think that's one of the things that kind of started the community out here, is people would come in just to see what I had brought in, just to physically try on something you've only had an opportunity to read about. Right. I cannot state how important that is to try it on your wrist. You might not like it.
Yeah. You're saying that your kind of taste was, really led the success of your collecting.
That's a really bold statement, but sure, yeah, I'll go with it. But yeah, trying it on, you'll also talk yourself out of a lot of watches too, and that will save you money in the long run.
True. There's been many watches that I've seen online, or they get released, and I was like, that's my Grail watch I want, and then it came in, and I was like, actually, this just doesn't look that great on me.
Royal Oak Offshore Montauk Highway.
Yours?
I wanted that watch so bad. It does not fit me in any way, shape, or form.
What was the color? There were some fun colors on that one.
That was, yeah. So that was like a cream and brown with that. And this is turquoise before the Tiffany watch craze.
Yeah.
And it was very much the colors of going up to Montauk. And I grew up in northern New Jersey, so it was like a thing. And I wanted that watch so bad. First time trying, it's like, absolutely not.
Not you.
Nope, does not fit me at all.
Not style. I mean, I rarely see George outside a suit, so I don't know about that one.
Yeah, a hoodie and a ball cap now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, we're here for you.